Hi, this is Karen from Mojo Global. Welcome to the Mojo Global Radio Show. Today we have as our honored guest, Dave Goodall. Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be here. This is awesome. Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
we had so much fun talking. I didn't even want to start the show, Dave.
Yes.
Could you tell our audience a little bit about how you could help them?
Yeah, so I have electrical engineering background. I spent 22 years in the IT industry, services department, building out service teams, service solutions. So I've done sales, all that fun stuff. And where I find myself today, being blessed with a daughter with autism, I went back and did a lot with neuroscience and neuroplasticity. So then with my 22 years of industry, IT industry, services industry, et cetera, I find myself working with a lot of high level business owners or C-suite type executives that are overwhelmed. There's just a lot on their shoulders, a lot of heavy decisions. And what I've learned on my neuroscience exploration is when we bring anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, anxiety, overwhelm to the conversation, we block our critical thinking up to 90%. So how I help these business owners, these entrepreneurs, these amazing people, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I meet these people right where they are and we look at how they're entertaining this anxiety and overwhelm, and we find a way to get rid of that so we can focus on how they can get their business to that next level.
That is really fantastic that you're able to help someone like that. I was wondering if you could give us an example of how you've helped someone, of course, not giving any of their identifying information.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite clients, and I love these highly motivated people. He was managing a large portfolio of real estate properties. He was a construction builder, home flipper back in 2008. And I think he had a portfolio in the multi-million in like probably 60s, 70s. And 2008 hit and they were trying to acquire investors, et cetera, et cetera. And he was trying to build out a team. And there were certain roles and responsibilities he didn't want to do. And he had put some people on the team and paying high salaries. And when we started having conversations, he was so focused on what he didn't want to do that he stopped focusing on what he enjoyed doing. So we spent some time together and recognized he had made some mistakes in high school playing basketball. And he was referencing that story every day and applying that to the business. And he had hired a six-figure team member for an operations director, and he never really put boundaries or job descriptions, roles, and responsibilities. He didn't want to do certain things and said, well, I'll pay $100,000 and I'll make it go away. At the end of the day, it didn't go away. It made things worse. We put some boundaries around the roles and responsibilities of that particular position. And thankfully, that person didn't like the boundaries and they left. It enabled him to take that six-figure salary he was paying and promote three people in the company. So he delegated some of those resources, put money back into his pool for investing. He didn't have to go back and do that job, and we really focused on what he enjoyed doing, which was finding investors, building out properties, adding rentals, et cetera, et cetera. So just in that situation is aligning with a client that was focused on what he didn't want, and we attract more of that, flipping that to what he did want, and then aligning all the resources appropriately, and his business is now thriving.
What a wonderful true story. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I know you have, just for the little time we've spoken, you have a passion about what you're doing. Could you speak briefly about that?
Yeah, I was gifted with a daughter with autism, and it took us down a whole path of learning how we process our thoughts. I learned on the journey that 95% of what we do today is on autopilot from the unconscious mind from yesterday. And most of that programming is done by the age of 7. And my passion took place as I was miserable before the diagnosis of my daughter. And I was just angry and miserable and unhealthy. And once I learned how to rewire our thoughts and rewire our emotions, and it was easy. It's, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and there's processes that are so easy and happen so quick to get out of those negative spaces and those emotional state spaces. And my passion is to really help people get out of their crap, because we are in this skin suit in this body for a limited time, and I believe we're on this planet to have fun. And building businesses and making money is fun, and because we get to have opportunities to travel and play with our family and do cool stuff. So I'm obsessed with helping people get out of their way to attract the things exactly that they want to do, so we can all go out and have fun.
It has been a joy speaking to you, Dave. And right now in the video, all your contact information is coming up. Can you tell us what the best way is to reach you?
Yeah, on my website, which is tapmental, tapmental.io, there's a book a call with me. And whatever you're dealing with, it's a 30-minute conversation. Whether we work together or not, in that 30 minutes, we'll have a great conversation just to see where you are. I can give you some resources. You'll leave with something. Either you'll leave with me helping you or giving you a solution that you can walk away with today.
Thank you so much for being on.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Of course, to our audience, we always appreciate you, and we look forward to bringing you the next Mojo Global Radio Show. Bye.